This painting that I'm about to start is going to be the biggest painting that I have ever made. Oil painting is my true love when it comes to art mediums. But it seems like in general, oil painters, oil paintings tend to be larger. I'm going to explore that myself. I'm gonna do the biggest painting that I've done, which is actually not that big. It's 18 by 24 inches. And we're going to see where that takes me. We're going to go down this path, which is learning oil paint, becoming proficient at oil painting. So let's go. Let's do it together. Okay, so this is the first iteration that felt right and ready to move on. But yeah, her face, not quite right. And then I decided I'd just go back to the digital sketch. So I reworked her face there, and that's when I started realizing there were some compositional tweaks that I wanted to make so that it flows better. So I did a quick little print out of it. So this is what is current. And then I just flipped over her head. I scooted her over in this, but I think I'm gonna keep her a little bit more centered. But yes, I think that solves something that felt just a little bit incomplete in this composition. So I flipped her head, and now I think that's the final, which means I'm not gonna reprint this. I don't know, maybe I need to sit on it. Anyways, if I do choose to flip her head in the final, which now I don't know, I'll just cut her head out. I'll cut this out, I'll flip it over, so I don't have to print it off again. I did end up reworking the composition some more. I ended up keeping the character facing the same direction as in that sketch. I actually find this far more like comfortable on a psychological level. I far prefer my characters to be facing to the right. I think I basically almost 100% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, draw my characters facing towards the right. Part of it is that with at least Western languages, you read from left to right, there is a certain like forward impression of left to right, which I think is really interesting. At least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but there's the impression of looking to the right feels more like you're looking towards the future, towards what's to come, towards openness, towards new, next. It feels more right. So I kept her facing towards the right. But I did end up flipping the Grim Reaper figure so that he's facing towards the left, so that there's a little bit more of this interplay and harmony and flow between that front character, the woman, and the Reaper in the background. So there's more of a reason for the eye to go from her to the Reaper than back to her. And to rearrange that compositionally, I just cut up the print that I already had, rearranged it, taped it back together, did that transfer process. Okay, so then I'm diving into painting. I don't really know exactly what techniques I want for my own oil painting. I've done a lot of research in what other artists have done, and I have at least like kind of a general concept of a lot of the different approaches to using oils and how you can go about it. I think that I'm probably gonna always be an artist that goes more in with the correct assigned color from the beginning and let it be really rough, but I'm establishing the values and the main tone and the highlights in basically the color that I would like to end up with. You can start with like black and white, which I believe is grisaille, where you start with the black and white and then you build up transparent color on top of it so that you end up with this really luminous and beautiful final product. But I think just with the way that I like to work with my own personality, I think I'm just much more like, just get into it, start seeing what it's gonna actually look like. That's how I'm painting this, really, is that I toned the panel first, and I toned it with this really pretty pink color. I'm trying to remember what I mixed for it. Oh, I do remember. It was Payne's Gray and quinacridone red, and it was a gorgeous color. It's so pretty. Quinacridone red is maybe even my most favorite pigment of all time. That's carrying over from watercolors, but it is such a beautiful, cool red. It's transparent. It's so vibrant, full of life. It's so pretty. So I will always have quinacridone red on my palette, but so I am just applying the colors right now. I'm getting everything down, and that way as it dries I can just get more and more refined, and things will smudge a little bit less each layer that I do because more of what you're seeing has already dried on the layers below it. Okay, another thing that I am trying to figure out to set myself off on a better foot with my new direction with oil painting is that a lot of artists will have a palette, a standardized palette for themselves that they always work with. And what I mean by that specifically is the set of paints that they have on their palette that they put on that palette every single time they paint. So a lot of artists will have like a cool warm of all of the primaries and then maybe some earth tones. And then each artist, they can pick out which colors they rely on the most, which ones they're always drawing from. And theoretically, because they have those specific colors on their palette, every painting that they do, there is consistency from painting to painting. When you put them all up, they all have similar color qualities to them so that they look harmonious together. And that's something that I really want with my own work. I really have been craving my paintings looking good and harmonious together, so my body of work feels like it all belongs to me. So that's one thing that I'm really wanting out of this. The second thing is I really want to streamline mixing colors for myself. It's something that I've gotten really overwhelmed with in the past, where I'll have like a bucket of a bunch of paints that I've gotten over the years, and I'll have lots of different blues and yellows and reds, and I will just pull them out and mix up what I need for that session. But then when it comes time to like painting another layer on the skin, I won't remember what reds or what yellows I used. So I'm guessing, or I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to hold it all in my brain, and then it's just not the same color anymore. If I'm using the wrong pigments, I remember it wrong, I can never get it exact or close or harmonious again. And that is something that I've really struggled with in the past. There's been points where I would take like actual notes of what colors I use, what pigments, what paints I've used to mix different areas of a painting. And I hated that. I didn't like that I couldn't just sit down and just use the paint that made sense, that intuitively, like that's what I would mix together because I didn't know. So this is what I'm trying. I am trying to give myself a specific and pre-planned palette. So I have my reds, my blues, my yellows, and a couple others, white, a couple blacks on my palette at all times. And that actually has gone so well. So I don't think I'll necessarily do it exactly the way that I did with this painting in the future, but having those colors pre-planned that I know how to use, that I know how they react together, I know how to mix them together, has been really just kind of a game changer. When I've sat down to like paint the skin, for example, because I only have 2 red options and 2 yellow options and 2 blue options, I know which ones I picked because I'm making, in the example of this piece, because I'm making a more pink based, cool based skin tone, I know that I picked the cooler options. So then I can just mix them together and it's harmonious with what I've already painted. It's just, it goes really seamlessly. And I have loved working this big. So I think the big benefit for me is there's always some area on this piece that is ready to be painted. And that was kind of a big shift for me. So in the past, I've really struggled with having a painting that I'm really excited about. I'm enjoying painting it, but then I would paint it all and then it would be days before it was touch dry and I could paint it again. And then I would have nothing to work on in the meantime. I could start a new painting, and sometimes I did, but I was eager to work on that piece. And that of course is something that comes naturally with oils. That's what makes them so beautiful, is that you can continue working on them because they stay open, they stay wet, essentially. But with this painting, because it was so big, there was, again, always an area that I hadn't touched for a couple of days. And then it would be touch dry, and then I could paint on it. So every time I had a session, and I've been working on this painting for, I think, about 2 weeks. My painting sessions have stretched on about that long. I've had somewhere where I could work on it, on this painting, and I love that. It just feels so good to be able to follow what I'm excited about and continue working on the piece that I'm connected to at the moment. So yeah, working bigger is definitely a direction that I'd like to pursue more, because it does feed that, where I can just keep working and working and working on it until it's done. So let's just check in. I think I'm maybe a third of the way through the painting. I have everything covered. So I have paint on all the surfaces now. I have everything kind of established, but I have a lot of details left and reworking to do. So some of the things that I need to fix or tweak as I work on it is her hair is very cool toned in this, but the color palette plan that I had, it was a lot warmer, more of like a warm white. So I'd like to redirect that a little bit more, just so that she becomes more of the warm shape overall in painting, so that she's warmer overall. And then the background coolness groups everything in the background together more, and she groups together more. And then there's going to be some like effects that link the two figures together so that there's more harmony and more like flow through the piece. Anyways, that'll be last. That'll be some of the end steps. But yeah, I think that's about what I'm thinking at this point. Her eyes in particular will be really fun once like this stuff dries, her skin and everything, and then I can do a final pass on her eyes, because then I can add her eyebrows and her eyelashes and all of the nice fine detail in her eyes. I think it's going to really just bring this painting to life. That's one of the areas that there's just so much potential there, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, we're going to keep on working on her dress today, and then I maybe do her hair next, or maybe the skull. And that's it for today, I think. So stay tuned so you can see the final of this piece, all of those finishing details that'll just make it sing. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.